In this video, we're going to take our frozen garlic cloves that we froze back in May, and we are going to make garlic powder out of them using the dehydrator. Now, some of you have freeze dryers and you know what you're doing. I have made a little bit of garlic powder from these already, not from frozen. We're gonna get there. We'll see what we can do.
Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave.
Hello and welcome to Bowtie Life. I'm Bowtie David, and we are in our 6th year of gardening, which is very exciting. We're just getting started in our 6th year, and we've been learning over the years how to preserve things for use in other ways. We've grown garlic. You can go back and look at some of the videos on growing garlic that we've had. We grew this garlic winter of we planted this garlic winter of 23, and we froze it. Now, we actually tried leaving it on the shelf in what we thought was the coolest place we could put it. It was a complete and dismal failure. It was not a good way for us to store it here in Destin, Florida. We really don't have a cool spot in the house, and we're still trying to figure that out. Part of that, I might be trying to figure out growing mushrooms, and I'm trying to design a way where we can have a cool spot for storage of things like this, but it'll go into a more humid spot for things like mushroom. If you have any ideas, comment below on how to do that. I've been kind of racking my brain for a number of months now. Mushroom Mesa is talking about growing mushrooms and milk farms, PA, so many places that are talking about growing mushrooms, and I just want to try that, particularly the lion's mane mushroom. I suffer with a bit of ADHD, and any help to the brain that I can get, I will take. So, we just did a video on saving garlic seed, that means, chunks of root for seed for next year's harvest. We're not saving these. You can save these and plant these for garlic for next year, but we're not doing that. We are going to, well, it's frozen now. I don't know that these would even grow. That might be an interesting experiment. We are going to take this, slice it up, put it in the dehydrator, and make garlic powder out of this. You can also take it a step further and make garlic salt out of this as well. This is the way we chose to store it. Becky over at Acre Homestead stores her garlic cloves in the freezer, and we thought, oh, that sounds interesting, and we have done it now, and we really like the method. We have several jars of garlic cloves. Now, this is elephant garlic. Here's a single clove right here, you can tell. It's pretty big. Oh, that's actually 2 cloves, isn't it? I can't break it because it's still frozen. Elephant garlic is a larger garlic. We didn't grow it huge, simply because I'm still learning how to grow this stuff. But we've been getting enough harvest to supply ourselves, to supply Mrs. Bowtie's cooking with garlic. And she's used these for just sticking in the skillet and cooking, and we're about to use it for the powder, which I'm very excited about. She told me yesterday or day before, I'm out of powder, garlic powder, and she cooks with it a lot. So she had it on the grocery list, and I thought, do you need it by this weekend? If not, we'll make some. So here we are, making some for her. Behind me, I have the Brownville Deer Pantry. In fact, if I go like this, you can see over here on the left, Brownville Food Pantry for deer. You might have seen this on the national news. We like watching this particular live stream. They have, I don't know, several cameras, 5 cameras now. I can't remember exactly. But this was just right after feeding this morning, so a couple of hours ago. And the little baby deer were just adorable. We'll just leave this on here as the background for this talk real quick. And it's not going to take very much. Now, folks, you can see that this garlic is not peeled. In fact, this top says it's peeled, and I don't know that it's actually peeled. Let me open this lid. We are going to be processing both these jars for powder. No, these are not peeled either, so we're going to have to peel those. I do want to introduce you to something that we saw over at Living Traditions Homestead, and we have used this for a while. This is a silicone garlic peeler, and all garlic peelers are not created equal, and sometimes this works better than other times. Whoops. But what it does, you roll it in there like that, and nothing came off. So sometimes it doesn't work. These larger garlic cloves are not as good with this silicone peeler. The smaller ones, you have to kind of press it down to keep the clove level still while the thing rolls around it, and it just isn't working with this. So I do like this. If you need a quick and easy way and cheap way to peel these things, this thing does a pretty good job, but not with this. So all we're going to be doing here, let me peel a few of these first. And I have a feeling that we might not be, it's not really hard to peel these, especially these larger cloves. The smaller cloves are a lot easier to use the little silicone peeler. You can see, I mean, look at there. We just got big hunks of the paper off of there. We're down to the bare clove. Trim off the little bit of that root down there. And there we go. There's easier ways. Folks, I am not the chef. If you watched any of my videos, I remind you of that frequently. So, another thing about these, if you do accidentally get some paper in here, since we are grinding this up for powder, paper is going to get ground up too. So it doesn't really matter. We've done this before. We've done this with garlic cloves, and we've done it with garlic scapes, if you've gotten any of those. The scapes make a more mild powder. Mrs. Bowtie doesn't like it quite as much as full garlic powder. We're still experimenting with these methods and trying to figure out what our favorite methods are going to be. But you can see here now, this is still kind of frozen. I need to set these out so they will thaw for just a couple minutes. And we are going to be doing all of these. See, that's even frozen down in there. Okay, there we go. We're going to be cutting all these up. There's another one frozen down in there. This part here, kind of self-explanatory. Just peel off that paper. I notice we got old Lefty over here in the frame. We see him a lot in this season. Sometimes you see him with just one horn. Anyway, that didn't actually take very long. We got all these garlic good and clean. Well, pretty clean. Like I said, if there's any paper on here that we miss, it's not going to matter a whole lot because we're grinding it up into powder after it's dehydrated. This is the big thing about this is don't overcomplicate it. That's my biggest problem is I sit there and I get anxious about what's going to happen. What's this? How to do that? And I'm a handyman. Sometimes I do that with my work. We're about to do. In fact, you can see we're in construction zone over here. We got stuff piled up in several corners of our main room here. So we're in construction zone and construction mode. You can see here in this video I started scraping the ceiling up in that front bedroom up there. And so it begins. But we are very excited about the changes that are going on here and how it's going to look. So if you're interested in seeing that, tell me down in the comments below. I don't know this channel, if people in this channel will really be interested in seeing that or not. But as a handyman, it's what I do a lot and all year long. So anyway, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start slicing up this it's not ginger, say it with me, garlic. The garlic, we're going to slice it up as thin as we can. Now, this here is the trays I'm going to be putting it on. And I have a silicone mat here with very small holes. Now, you'll notice, oh, by the way, we have the Septree Dehydrator set up. It takes these nice large square trays. I love this dehydrator. I spent a little extra on it because it's all stainless steel. It's so easy to clean and maintain. I'm really pleased with how this thing came and how well it works for us. But it has these stainless steel trays in them that I use normally for bigger stuff. These are going to be a little bit smaller slices. In fact, we're going to be doing another video on the turmeric, doing the similar thing to it with the turmeric. But it comes with 2 of these silicone mats. I got to get more of these silicone mats because these things are great for small stuff, especially if you're filling it with small stuff. And it just sets on there, does the same thing. And we'll show you the settings. I'll show you the settings on that a little bit later. But anyway, so what I'm doing here is I am just slicing this as thin as I can. And I can tell you right now I need to go ahead and get my glasses. But you can see, I mean, we're looking at maybe a millimeter thick, doing it just slowly by hand. Now, I am not a knife smith, or a chef or anything. In fact, I'm about as far as from being a chef as it can be, which is one of the reasons I do these videos, because if I can do it, anybody can do this. But I'm slicing these up as small as I can get them, and we will be dehydrating this. Now all right, there's a nice slice. It's maybe a tad over a millimeter this side, tad less this side. Ooh, okay. That is, I keep saying ginger. It's garlic, folks. If ever I say ginger in this video, we've already done ginger. Oh, that elephant garlic is strong. Oh, that tastes wonderful. So that was one of my biggest curiosities, was how, if freezing it would reduce the potency of it, which, interestingly, elephant garlic is not as potent as some of the other garlic. The next jars we're doing is the chestnut red, but and that's a hard neck garlic that is supposed to be really good. And lastly, we'll be using our whatever our soft neck garlic is. Will be the last thing we use. But we're getting through this stuff slowly, which is what we wanted. We are not growing garlic this winter, mainly because construction zone. Yeah, these little guys are just adorable, aren't they? Anyway, so let's get on with slicing these up. And it really isn't a huge job, folks. It's very easy. It just takes a little bit of, take it easy, take it slow, take your time, watch what you're doing, wear your glasses if you need to, because I don't want to slice my fingers, and slice these as thin and as small as I can get them. Remember, we're going to be sticking these in the grinder, the spice grinder, the coffee grinder that we use for this, and we will be grinding this up into a fine powder. We'll be sifting it and making sure that we only have small chunks in there, because Mrs. Bowtie likes her garlic powder. It's one of her favorite things to cook with, and it's one of my favorite things for her to cook with, because I like it too. So as I promised in the title, I wanted to talk about some of the proven health benefits of garlic. This is from Healthline. I've used this site before for these lists, and I really like what they put out. But the garlic does contain compounds with potential medical properties that are good for us. And we have sources throughout history, millennia of history, about garlic and its benefits. And we know that cultures that typically eat more garlic are generally healthier. Now, of course, it's very highly nutritious and has very few calories. It has magnesium and vitamin B6, vitamin C, selenium, fiber. Garlic contains trace amounts of various other nutrients. It is low in calories. That's a big thing, folks. You can have as much of this as you want. Garlic can also help protect against illnesses, including, here you go, the common cold. And it's really amazing that people that do have higher garlic content generally catch the cold less and catch various illnesses like that less. Research from 2016 suggests that aged garlic extract can boost your immune system. That study found that people who took AGE, aged garlic extract supplements, for 3 months during cold and flu season experienced less severe symptoms and fewer days missed at school or work. Of course, the active components in garlic can reduce blood pressure, and that's exciting for some people. One thing you've not got to remember, that's later. Sorry, there is a caveat on this later. Garlic improves cholesterol levels, which may lower risk of heart disease. And again, just like the ginger, can lower bad cholesterol and make things healthier. According to a 2016 research, taking garlic supplements for more than 2 months could reduce your LDL by up to 10%. And I personally have never had a very bad problem with my bad cholesterol. I've had occasional boosts, but generally things are good. There does not appear here to be any good effects on good cholesterol. So don't think that this is going to raise your better cholesterols. Garlic contains antioxidants that may help prevent Alzheimer's disease and dementia. And a lot of these spices we're doing in this season's series have that benefit in it, which I'm very excited about. I will take all the brain help I can get. Me and my ADHD brain, yeah, need all the help I can get. Garlic may help you live longer. And you know, we talk about how the Italians just seem to know that garlic in their diet, and Greeks, they just seem to live longer in general. Garlic supplements may improve your athletic performance. Now, this is something that I had not heard. Ancient civilizations used garlic to reduce fatigue and improve the work capacity of laborers. Olympic athletes in ancient Greece consumed garlic to improve their performance. Now, me as a handyman, I'm active, I'm getting out there a lot, I'm doing stuff, and I like anything that can help me with my keeping active. Eating garlic may help detoxify heavy metals in the body, and with our food system the way it is right now, sometimes we get those things in our food system, and we do, of course, need to be careful. I like the detoxifying. That's a great thing. Garlic may also improve bone health, which really surprised me. It appears to have some benefits for bone health by reducing oxidative stress. Still more human studies are needed. There was a 2018 study that found that 12 weeks of garlic supplements, 1 gram per day, helped reduce pain in women with knee osteoarthritis and obesity or overweight. Garlic is easily included in your diet, adds flavor. Anybody who's had and loves garlic, you know it's easy to put in there. Now, keep in mind the side effects. Number one, some people think it gives you bad breath. Personally, I have never minded the flavor, the smell of garlic. I've not really noticed that in anyone. But one very last thing, garlic may affect the blood clotting ability. If you have bleeding disorder or are taking blood thinning medications, talk with a doctor before increasing your garlic intake. So here we are. I got my first tray of sliced up garlic, not ginger, garlic. And you can actually see through these pieces. They're thin enough. If you get real close here, you can actually see the grid through these slices. Some of them are a little thicker. It's not going to make a whole lot of difference. Key thing is here of using the dehydrator, if you've never used one, is to keep these things not touching as much as possible. And this thing, in fact, put in the comments below how long you think this is going to take to dehydrate. Some of you know. Some of you may be guessing. I'd like to hear both the no's and the guesses because I think it'll be interesting to hear. So we're going to set it now. This is the Septree Dehydrator. This was not a very expensive dehydrator. I got it on Amazon. I love the size of it. This big square thing, these big square trays. The thing I like about this, back when we were doing all those loofah, I could stick whole loofah gourds inside the dehydrator. So this size for me is great. It's the same one we've always had, and I paid a little extra for the stainless steel. Oh, the tray's missing. I know where the tray's in the sink. I gotta clean it. But I tend to keep these things in the middle, and you just slide them in and you start this thing. And I'll have to go get that tray in just a minute. But the control panel up here, it's already plugged in. I do want to show you the control panel real quick. You simply turn it on. You can control the time and the temp very easy. And I don't want to do this on very high temp because I don't want to remove a lot of the health benefits of the ginger. And so I'm going to keep it on about 93, which is where I normally do just about everything. It says here herbs 95 to 125. I think that's going to be the closest thing to what this is. And I don't know that it's going to take 24 hours. The nice thing about this is you can always open it and check them, make sure they're dry. So that's putting it into the dehydrator. Let me know how long you think it's going to be in the comments below. And we'll cover some more of the health benefits as I finish slicing up the garlic over there. And so there you have it, folks. We have dried our garlic. Yes, we're on garlic now. I've been doing different videos here, so if I say ginger or turmeric, I mean garlic, okay? Oh, speaking of turmeric, there's a couple of pieces of turmeric from that other video that came out a couple days ago, or a few days ago. Anyway, oh, there's a bunch of little pieces here. I need to get more of these little silicone sheets so that this doesn't happen nearly as much. So I was looking at the turmeric the other day, and you can see here the turmeric was all nice and snappy, and the garlic was not nice and snappy. It didn't break. It kind of, some of them still kind of bent a little bit. And so I waited another day. Actually, that was Sunday. We started the videos Saturday afternoon. And so this garlic sat in here for 24 hours in the dehydrator at 98 degrees, I think it was, Fahrenheit. And after so long, after the same amount of time, the turmeric was in there. Now, the turmeric was very nicely sliced. This was sliced by hand. I think this was probably sliced a little thicker, but not that much thicker. However, I believe the fact that it was still bendy had to do with the fact that it had been frozen. I do know on our frozen okra, when Mrs. Bowtie fries it up, it takes the stuff that's been frozen, stuff that's been refrozen a little longer to crisp up. It's a mess. Anyway, I think that it is because of the freezing stage. Doesn't mean it's not going to work. Listen to this. Perfect crisp. It's like a potato chip. So these things are ready to go. We are going to grind these up into powder for Mrs. Bowtie. I do want to point out we have our handy dandy cheap coffee grinder. I use this exact same one in the turmeric. In fact, you can see there's still a little bit of the orange in there. It'll get wore off eventually. But I did want to say something. I forgot to say this on the turmeric video, and you can go back and look at that if you want to. We've had a couple of, this is our second one of these, and we've had this one a very, very long time, years, over a decade, maybe 12 years or more. And one thing I would recommend is get the one that has the little bowl that comes off separate if you're getting a coffee grinder. Now, folks, this is just what we have. Use what you have, okay? If you got a NutriBullet or something else that will grind your spices, by all means, don't go buying one of these if you've already got something that works just fine. I'm not saying this is the thing that you have to get. In fact, everything I do, there's very little that I would be able to say, this is the thing you have to get, because it's not. There's a billion ways to do this. Folks, we're all different. We all have different things. We're in different parts of the world, and use what resources you've got. Even if you're using a mortar and pestle, that works too, folks. You can do that. Anyway, we're going to use this coffee grinder. There are little things in here that are supposed to be how long the grind is, and it's got other details on it. It doesn't matter. It gets ground up for 45 to 60 seconds, and it's powder. It'll get put into the jar. In case you didn't see that turmeric video, yeah, looky there, buddy. Oh, I'm so excited. 2 jars of turmeric that I'll be using over the next year. And that was the result of that other video. So go back and look at that video. There will be a link to it at the very end screen, so you can go watch that. But, oh, I'm just so excited that we can do this. Now, if you remember the beginning of this video, we had 2 jars of garlic that had been frozen and had been frozen in vacuum sealed jars, mason jars, these jars in fact, and they were not peeled. We talked about that earlier. The peeling bit, I think that it got easier to peel. If I had just left the cloves to sit out for 10 minutes, I think they would have peeled just fine. So whatever. Anyway, we used 2 jars. We're going to see if we can fill a single spice jar. And this was a spice jar we got from the store. It was, I think this one was organic ginger from Walmart. But it has a little shaker in the top and a lid. So I save these jars whenever we get them. So I've got like tons of them sitting out there. And Yeah, I started saving these things like 15, or yeah, maybe 10 years ago, and haha, for those of you who laughed at my jar collection, no one laughed. Well, maybe Mrs. Bowtie. Anyway, so again, I have a piece of parchment paper here, just in an old cookie sheet. In fact, the same cookie sheet, you can see there's some turmeric still on there. But we are going to just simply brush this off onto the parchment paper and get this kind of consolidated where we can dump it into the grinder. And these silicone sheets, it's a mesh sheet. We got 2 of these with our Septree Dehydrator. There is no sponsorship, it's just what we bought. I want to say we spent a little over $200 on the dehydrator. Somewhere I went back and looked at it, somewhere I saw it said it's actually a commercial dehydrator. It's kind of small for a commercial dehydrator, but we love it. We love it because it fits everything we need to dehydrate, and then it sits for 8 months until we need it again. But, I can smell the garlic. It just really smells good. Anyway, let's see if we can do it this way. Nope, I don't want to do that. Okay, we're going to go like that. Well, this isn't going to work much better. Anyway, it's unimportant, folks. We just kind of get all these things off of here. What'd you think of those health benefits? Are you using garlic for any health benefits? I'm curious to find out if y'all knew about those health benefits and maybe changed your diet. I believe that the ginger keeps mosquitoes away. I really do. See, I said ginger. The garlic keeps mosquitoes away. Okay, so I believe ginger does too, but that's not what I intended to say here. Anyway, this is supposed to be a non-stick mesh, but it didn't non-stick very well, did it? So anyway, here we go. We got a pile of it here. We're going to grind this up. I got a couple of bowls over here. We're going to stick this in there, grind it up, pour it in here through our handy dandy little sieve that we're going to use. This is just a strainer that I've converted into a sieve. It does have a mesh, a stainless steel mesh. I like this for this particular purpose because we can stick it in the grinder and filter out all the fine particles that we want, put the stuff back in, and finish the grind. So let's get on with this. And you'll notice I did put the labels on our turmeric. I do have a handy dandy label made for our garlic powder, and I made it with, and again, no sponsorship here, people. I use this PT Touch Brother label maker. It's a TZ tape, and someone on one of the live streams I was on looked it up and said, hey, that stuff is UV protective and water resistant, and it really is. It's been a great label maker, so if you're ever looking for a good label maker, I recommend that. But we're going to go in here. Now this thing does have a line here that says don't fill it above so far. And I kind of follow that guideline. It does kind of, you're going to have to find the spot where it slides. It's kind of old, it's worn, it doesn't slide in as well as it used to, but it does work. So, here we go, let's grind this thing up. So what I do here, and I'll show you a close-up here in just a, woo, look at that. Oh my goodness. Woo, that is strong. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And so I just run it through that sieve and all that woo. I can even taste it in my mouth. Can you see that in the air here? Oh, that tastes so good. Anyway, we're going to put that back in there, grind it some more. How's that sound? There we go. Oh, let's put some more of the rest of this in here. I don't think that's smoke. I think that's just really fine powder coming out of there. And smelling it, I'm not disliking it. Oh my goodness, it is delicious smelling. All right, let's get the rest of this in here that we're going to get. I have a feeling there's not going to be much more of this that we can get. I'm going to scrape out some of this stuff that's stuck in the bottom. And we will have garlic powder. Isn't that a thing of beauty? Look at there, look at there. Yes. So I will pour it into this smaller bowl so that we can use our handy dandy funnel and pour it into the jar. Now, folks, when you're using a funnel for pouring things, make sure it's a nice big one. There's no reason for a tiny funnel. I saw someone using a tiny funnel for something not long ago, and poor thing, she spilled it all over the countertop. Feel for you, Kaylee. Okay, so now, big funnel, little jar, stick that in. Now, interestingly enough, I did clean this jar out really good, and I stuck it in the dehydrator for a little while to dry out. Dehydrators have a lot of good purposes, really, they do. I'm sure of it. Are we going to get a jar full? Oh my. Yes, we are. We have over a jar full. How about that? Mrs. Bowtie will be ecstatic. See if we can pack it down in there a little more. So I can get the rest of it in there. There's barely a tablespoon left. I don't think there's even a tablespoon left. Ugh. Just barely got enough in there. Okay, here we go. Taste test. It's garlic. Woo, there it comes. There it comes. It's garlic, all right. Oh, yeah. So there we go. Another product from the garden, folks. How cool is that? Garlic powder. Now, the way I understand it is you can mix this with 50% salt, half this, half salt, and you have garlic salt. How's that for a interesting thing? So we take our handy dandy little label and we put it on here. Oh, I'm just very excited. I hope Mrs. Bowtie likes her new garlic powder. Garlic powder, folks. Hot dog. Another product of the garden. I am very excited about that. Okay, so that is taking you along again on another adventure. Here pretty soon you see the bowl of turmeric sitting here that we were working on in the turmeric video, the one that just came out a few days ago. And I have decided these old turmeric roots that I think are the ones I planted back in May, I'm going to be putting them out in the meadow around the bee box. See if we can get these things to grow again. I'm thinking we probably can. In fact, one of them, I'm pretty sure this is an original one. It actually has other roots on it. There was another. I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive about this one, but I think this is one of the original ones. But I'm going to be planting those in the meadow area to see if we can get flowers out of it for next fall. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Those of you who have subscribed, you have made Bowtie Life what it is today, and I do appreciate every one of you. Y'all have a blessed day. you.